Tuesday. It is the month of July, and every other month, of course, we sit down with Chris Feature, or one of the other members of the family here at the Huber Opera House, and we spend about a half hour with the Huber Happenings Live program. I want to thank you for joining us here on the HIX-TV YouTube channel. I'm HIX-TV's Bill Murphy. Chris is with us, and we are on stage, and as you can see, the stage does not have its normal brick wall. The blue curtain is down, and we've got some of the flats that are in place. Props are getting ready. There are people painting out in the front, and all kinds of stuff is going on, Chris, because we are in the beginning of what is a show week for you here at the Huber.
Yeah, we consider it tech week. So all of the technical pieces, make sure that all the props are ready, all the sets ready, all of our lights are working, and we're operating them, on time with all the cues and of course, set changes. Those are big things that you try and get those down. So you in the audience don't have to sit and wait for us to flip this.
Yeah, all the choreography in a show, it is not necessarily just the dancing.
No, there's a lot of choreography of, okay, you three are going to do this, and you three are going to do that, and you're going to grab the table, and you're going to grab the chairs, and boom, boom, boom.
Costume changes.
Yeah, and then all the costume changes that we have. So this has been a costume-heavy and a set-heavy show.
Yeah.
So,
and this is a fun show. It is kind of a flashback. This is a classic show that has been around for a long time. This is a show that famously Elvis Presley wanted to be in, but Colonel Tom Parker wouldn't let him do it because he didn't want Elvis sort of making fun of himself. It's a huge hit movie with Dick Van Dyke and Anne Margaret, and it's a Broadway staple, and it is called
Bye Bye Birdie.
There you go.
So, and it's Birdie is Conrad Birdie, who is the Elvis figure of the whole show. So you do get a little bit of Elvis flavor with this one, but there are so many other cute songs and things. And as you can see behind us, the set reflects the time period, which was 1958. So if you think about things like Laugh-In, and of course, the poodle skirts and stuff of the 50s, it was kind of right in between those two things. So we've kind of bridged the gap with all the costuming and set design and so forth. So it's right in between there.
Yes, indeed, and it's a terrific show. It's about a young girl who's the local president of her Conrad Birdie fan club, and Conrad Birdie is getting ready to be drafted into the Army, and so they're trying to come up with some way to send him off, and so his publicists have a contest where the winning person, who turns out to be this girl, gets to meet Conrad Birdie, and he sings a special song for her on the Ed Sullivan Show. But then things go strange. All kinds of things happen before the big climax.
Yeah, of course, we can't give away the rest of the plot, but yes, there's lots of fun parts and pieces, all American type songs in them, and red, white, and blue, and we're waving the flag on stage, and so there's lots of things, and you'll really enjoy it. It's a very upbeat show. You'll walk away tapping your toes and singing the songs to this one.
Yes, indeed. It is a really fun show, and there is great music, and like I said, it's a little bit of Americana if you're old enough to remember back in the day when Ed Sullivan was on the air and had anybody who was anybody was on the Ed Sullivan Show, and it's that wonderful era where the rock and roll was king and so forth. And the other special thing about this show is that this is your senior youth theater production for the year.
Yes, we call it our Summer Academy. It's for ages 13 to 20. So it is our teens, basically, and this is their show for the summer, and we've been working on it since we just did Candy Kingdom. So it's only been 4 weeks plus this week of tech. So it's pretty quick for this large of a production. This is the full-length Broadway show, not a junior. So I always want to emphasize that because the junior shows are like an hour and 15 and they're quick. No, this is the full-length 2.5-hour show. So it'll be really fun. There'll be an intermission, of course, but it'll be really fun. We have a local group of boys who have gotten together to work on some barbershop quartet pieces. Okay. So we're throwing that in there too. So it's really good, a good show. We have tickets available at the door on Saturday, starting at 6:30. Doors will open at 6:30. The show starts at 7. Again, on Sunday, the doors open at 1:30. The show starts at 2. And we do have tickets available for both of those, but
Okay.
it's not online anymore. It's just at the door.
Yeah, the online usually ends about the week before the actual show begins. And this is a great showcase, too, because the high school musicals that are done around the region are almost always outstanding, and they feature some terrific kids. But you get to sort of pick from the best of the best, I guess. You know, that you have, or what I guess I'm trying to say is that there are kids from all over the area that come in, and this is a great way to see some of the talents that, you know, when it comes to the high school productions, you're never going to see some of these kids on stage together for their high school because they go to different high schools. But again, this is a great talent, and these kids love this. They look forward to it every year because, like you said, this is a full-blown show, and they get like to take some ownership of the show as well. So I mean, and they usually turn out a really great performance.
Yeah, not only do they get to, learn their lines and the choreography and all of that, but they help pick out costumes. They help paint, such as this.
Yeah.
They help design and paint this. So they do the painting, the set. They help us grab props and all of those kinds of things from upstairs if we don't have them. They help figure out how to make them, or, oh, my grandma has one of those, or whatever. So yeah, this one is, they get to a lot of different parts and pieces. And then we've also had presenters come in and talk about how to be a character and what it means to, really transform yourself into that character. And so they learn a lot more than just being in a show. It's a quite an educational experience for them, and like you said, 7 different counties. I hadn't counted the high schools, but I'll bet it's at least a dozen, at least a dozen different schools, and these kids get to know each other, and they keep in contact with each other during the year. So it's really fun, and they look forward to seeing each other every summer.
Like I said, and it really is worth coming out to see because they do an amazing job. I mean, I saw Julie Hall; she's out there working, and your tech person that is up in the booth is here. And so, I mean, they're going to be doing it, but you don't try to let the kids get the A-listers helping them just like the adult shows do as well. So I mean, it's going to be a terrific show. And again, it is this Saturday and Sunday, a Saturday night and a Sunday afternoon matinee performance, and there will be tickets available at the door.
Yes, there will be tickets available at the door. And I might say, too, we hold our tech rehearsals this week in the evenings because typically we have to have some adults come in to help with some of the jobs. However, we only have 2 adults doing the technical jobs this year. The others are all done sound and music and spotlight and all of those kinds of things are being done by teens themselves.
Okay.
So they were interested in doing those specific jobs, so we lined them up to do those. And one of our stage managers is a teen, and so it's just, even the backstage stuff. It's all, it's as much as we can pull kids in to do all of those other pieces. They're involved also. So, yeah.
And this sort of, in an odd, sideways way, brings up another one of the things I just wanted to touch on briefly, because you mentioned now the tech rehearsals are usually done in the evening, and that's partially because it's hotter than blazes outside, and I mean, and we're under the lights here, and I was just outside, and so I'm probably needing to have some of the powder on my forehead. It can get rather warm on this stage, but it's nice, and you've got a nice air conditioner that's out there purring away.
Yeah, we do. We had to replace one of them. That was for the front of the house, but the air conditioners for this unit, are on the roof for this part of the building, and they do a good job of cooling it down in here for us.
It really makes a difference, so that the front hallway is nice and comfortable, and it's nice and cool in here. So we're under the lights, which is why like I said, I'm a little sweaty, but still, it's very comfortable in here, nice and climate controlled. And again, this is a great facility. It's designed from an era before there were microphones, so there's built-in acoustical assists in the architecture, and then when you add the microphones and the really great system that you have here, I don't even know how many microphones you have available, but I mean, you got a lot.
We have 24 individual mics, and then some, because of their character using a mic, they have, handheld mics, but that's only if the character, it works into that. But and then a lot of times the kids will switch out, so that maybe they only have lines in the first 2 or 3 scenes, and then they're kind of done with their lines, and so then they switch off with somebody else who has a minor role in another part of the show. So we try and mic as many of the kids as we can. And of course, Early Harris comes in and does the vocals for it. And it really makes a difference because you can hear all of those beautiful 4, 5, and 6-part harmonies in the show and she works very hard with them every night.
And your tech lady, people don't realize the tech lady's up there, and she's got this big thing with like 24 numbers, and then she's got characters on it, and then she's got like a book that says, okay, so and so enters, that's mic number this. So she has to keep track of all those microphones. And sometimes if you have two different kids that are using the same microphone, you'll have one kid who's talking like this, and then the next kid will be talking like this, and she has to know that in advance to change the setting. So it's a fun job, but it can be a real challenging job, and she does terrific work.
And actually, we have one of our teens doing that
Okay,
job.
cool.
They've been taught to do that, and so
You can
yep.
never not have enough people that know how to run the board.
Exactly. So our teens are running that. They're running the music cues. They're running the spotlights. Like I said, they're backstage. So we have somebody come in and do the light board, and we have somebody up in the catwalk dropping
The drops.
the background.
There we go.
So because we couldn't get one of our teens to,
Yeah.
they were busy with other things this summer. So yes, so we really have covered the bases with mostly teens.
All right. So with that said, we are in the midst of summer. We had the second of the free summer concerts that was held just last week. David Bussing came in, did a great job. You have one more patio concert coming up before summer wraps up.
Yes, August 7th, and that is all promoted by the mayor's office and so forth. So the village supports those through some contributions that they get with sponsors. And so we have one more of those coming up, and that one is going to be Christina Adams, 5:30 to 7. And as my understanding, there will be free hot dogs and hamburgers that night. So.
I think they're doing it in conjunction with the Chamber's monthly ladies' night. So some of the businesses will be open later, and they'll have specials for the ladies that evening as well. Had the Fat Pig food truck was here for David Bussing, so we'll see how things go. And, of course, the Huber always is there with, you have concessions outdoors as well, so people can come by and get some concessions to help support the Huber as well.
Yes, we always do our popcorn, candy, and pop, and water. So we always have a table set up out there to go along with, and I appreciate all the support that folks give us.
All right. So with that said, let's take a look as we head towards summer and we get ready for August and county fair and back to school time and all of that sort of stuff. We won't be talking to you again until September. So let's try to cover the bases, and we'll begin with what events do you have on for sure coming up in August? Because I know you're probably going to be having auditions pretty soon for your fall show.
Actually, auditions are next week.
Okay. I'm glad I brought it up then.
Yeah, for Fiddler on the Roof, which is our October 17, 18, 19 show. Will be our next show here. And so our auditions are next Tuesday and Wednesday in the evenings. Everything's online, so if you go online to huberoperahouse.org, you can find out all the details, what you need to prepare for, and all of those things. But actually, if you just want to be involved, and, this is for all ages.
Yep.
So this one, we need some younger kids, we need teens, we need adults, we need older adults, especially males, for a lot of the roles. So please come, and not all of them are singing roles.
I was about to say there's a couple really good character roles that are non-singing if anybody's worried about singing.
Yeah, so don't worry about the singing part. And then, we have, of course, he has all the daughters that are all different ages in Fiddler. So, there's lots of roles available for lots of folks, and a couple older women who come from the dead.
Yeah.
So to haunt them. So those are older, roles for older folks. So Dave Snyder is going to be directing that one, and his music director is Andy Gross.
Yeah.
Andy's not been here for a while, but I'm sure some of you will
He's
recognize
a wonderful guy, terrific singer. Actually, I did Fiddler with him and did Sound of Music with him. So he's a fantastic vocalist, a terrific actor, and just a really great theater guy.
Yeah, he knows theater really well, and he's been working a lot with some community groups in Fort Wayne, most recently. But he's coming back to the Huber to work on this show. So we do have, a great crew set up for that one. And again, we can use help building the set. We can use help, getting costumes and altering costumes and all of those extra things that go on ahead of time. So if you want to do some of that, still come to auditions so we can get your name, number, email, that kind of stuff. And just put down that, I'm not trying out for anything on stage, but I could sew, or I would love to help, learn how to build the set, or anything like that. We train anybody that wants to do anything. So we encourage all to come and enjoy that and participate.
If anybody out there's got a dairyman's cart.
I think we already have
You have
one.
one?
Yeah.
Okay,
think we
because like I
have
said,
one.
finding the wheels and the axle, that's the key. You can build the box around it, but
Yeah, I think we still have one from when they did it before,
Okay,
quite a
terrific.
few years ago. Yeah.
all right, great. So again, Fiddler on the Roof auditions coming up next week. And as Chris mentioned, whenever we touch on stuff, because we only have a half hour, and so sometimes we do kind of go past things pretty quickly, just remember huberoperahouse.org. That is their website. You can go on there. You'll find the details on all the stuff that we talked about, their schedule of events, upcoming events. The newsletter is posted on the website as well. You can also find them on Facebook. You can also follow us here on our Hicksville Community Television Facebook page, and of course the updates that we do here on YouTube as well. And the box office, their office is open on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 until noon, and you can call anytime and leave a message on the answering machine, because that's checked 2 or 3 times a week as well.
Correct. We always check that when we're in the office. So if there's something that you need, then just leave us a message and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
All right, so terrific. So aside from that, do you have anything else going on that's going to be going on in the month of August or later in July? I know that unfortunately one show did get canceled, but I'm not sure if they had anything else that was on the docket.
We did have the Mellon Cougar Band scheduled for July 26th, the weekend after our show, but they had to cancel, so that is off the docket. And then, of course, we have the concert, the patio concert on August 7th.
Yeah.
But then we kind of just leave things be because we're getting back to school. We have the fair going on. It's Labor Day. It's the end of the season for people to get to the lake and take vacations. So pretty much, other than the patio concert, we're kind of a slow month.
Yeah, you need to have, every now and then you need to have a little downtime as well, so you can sort of make sure things do get cleaned up, things are put away, and you sort of like, I guess, just swab the decks and get ready for the next crew to come in.
Yeah, well, of course, rehearsals for Fiddler will be going on in August, but other than that, as far as public events, no. And but then we gear right up for September, which we have 4 different events coming up in September, which are like one-night events, so I can kind of squeeze them in between rehearsals in September. The first one is Little Big Band on September 6th.
Again,
They're back again on September 6th, which is a Saturday, and they are at 7 p.m. All of these are at 7 p.m. Then on September 13th, the next Saturday, I have a comedian, Adam Minnick, and it's supposed to be a very family-friendly comedian. So I think it will be good for all ages. We will probably set up tables for that and encourage people to bring their own beverages to that one. So yeah, if you know what I mean. And then September 18th, which is a Thursday night, we have the Senior Saints coming in. They are annually come in, usually on a Wednesday or Thursday night in September, so they're scheduled for the 18th. And then the following Saturday, the 20th, new to us is the Fort Wayne American Legion Band. So American Legion Band of Fort Wayne, I guess, is their official title. So they will be doing, of course, big numbers, and I guess they're quite a large band and some patriotic things and so forth. So that's kind of our September lineup, and then we kind of get busy and we really need our time to get Fiddler ready. So then we kind of back off there until we do Fiddler on the Roof.
And then that'll be the October show. And then, of course, you've got events that'll come up around Christmas as well. And we'll be talking more about those as we'll be back here again in September, obviously. We've got a lot of things to talk about for that, and we'll update you on how things are going for Fiddler on the Roof. By then, we should be able to tell you about the cast and the crew members and so forth as well. So we will look forward to that. And really, aside from that, the other things to go on, I guess, is it may seem like a long way away. We're talking about Thanksgiving and Christmas, but in a lot of ways, maybe it's not so far away. So, I mean, if you have a business organization, if you have a family event that you got too many people, you can't fit them all in the house or whatever, or you just don't want to clean up, they can, the time, I mean, you can start booking now for the holiday season.
Yeah, we don't have anybody booked. Now, December gets tricky until after the 15th,
Yeah.
but usually your family gatherings are after that. So we have activities pretty much the first, 3 weeks, with ending with Siberian solstice on the 15th.
Yeah.
So anything after the 15th in December, we would be open to, any family gatherings or any, parties that you want to have, corporate parties or anything like that, which is still a whole week before the week of Christmas. So you'd have that. And then, of course, over Thanksgiving, we would be able to entertain that. So you just have to call the office and check our dates and see what's available, and then we can get you all lined up.
And again, depending on what you want to do, I mean, there's the community room out front. There's a smaller room upstairs, I believe, and then of course there's the main auditorium here. So you can pretty much handle crowds just about any size. And again, you've had fashion shows here, you've had wedding receptions, you've had corporate team building events, travel log. I can't think of much that you haven't had here at one time or another.
At one time or another, you're correct, yeah. So most recently, we've had, more of the family-type gatherings and birthdays and anniversary and those kinds of things, baby showers, wedding showers, any kind of gatherings like that. So again, it's a beautiful facility. We want people to use it, and so just call.
Yeah.
Just call us. It's a great venue.
So again, HuberOperaHouse.org is the place to go online. You can find out more about booking it for private functions, as well as all of the public events that are going to be going on here at the Huber Opera House. And of course, we've talked a lot about this in the past, but again, if you would like to become a member of the Huber family, if you'd be willing to volunteer, donate some of your time, or if you have resources, there are many levels of giving, many ways to give. You can support financially, or you can support with the sweat of your brow, I guess. Whatever the case may be, they're always looking for people. If you're really interested in doing something, you'll train people. I mean, if somebody comes in and says, I would really like to be able to learn how to do the lights and stuff, we'll set you, you can be up there for a show and we'll teach you how to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. We have folks that are willing to train, and some of our teens have learned some of those things. So, for instance, a lot of the programming was done by an adult, but then she wasn't available today to do those little fine-tune things and add a little cue here and add a little cue there. And so she came in earlier today and, kind of added those things in, and she knew what she was doing, and we got things ready. So it's, it's amazing what you can learn just by coming in and doing. And we probably will start you with just operating the board so you get familiar with it, and then there's a programming piece. Same thing with the microphones. There's a whole setup that you do at the beginning, and to operate them is one thing, but to actually set them up and get all of the levels correct and so forth, and that takes a little bit more experience. But we're willing to work with you on it and learn how to do all those things.
And there's no better way to learn how to do it than to do it. So, so that's great. And again, whenever you come by the Huber, there always have the buckets that are set out if you want to make a free will donation. And of course, the best way to support the Huber is to attend the shows and the programs that they feature here. And again, there are plenty of opportunities to do that. I mean, we touched on many things. But again, the junior high musical, I think, is going to be here in the fall. The high school musical will be next March, next spring. You have the schools do things here. They do their coronation, they do their Christmas choral concert, and so forth. And again, as Chris mentioned, there are many great groups who come in. And the little big band is terrific, and so are the Senior Saints. They've been here many times. So again, they bring their own following. But again, if you haven't had a chance to see them, and again, you can support the youth with their Bye Bye Birdie, and look forward to Fiddler on the Roof coming up in October. And aside from that, anytime you want to know more, again, just go to HuberOperaHouse.org. They've got their newsletter there, and you can call the box office, stop by, and they'll be happy to answer any questions you have and tell you how you can be more active and help support the Huber.
Yeah, and I also might mention that the health department uses this location as a satellite location. So once a month, they have their WIC, which is Women, Infant, and Children, appointments here the first week of the month, and then usually the third or fourth Tuesday of the month, depending upon how it lands with holidays. They come in, and the nurses come in and do their clinic with shots and you know,
Immunizations and so forth.
immunizations, back to school, flu shots, and so forth. So all you have to do is call the health department to set up the appointment for the Huber.
Yeah.
And then they will meet you here. So it really makes it convenient for folks kind of in this corner of the county to be able to have that service available without having to drive all the way to Defiance and, you know, all of that. So.
And you usually have, you know, one or two really nice sort of fundraising events that you do every year too, with the wine tastings and so forth, whatever. And I'm sure that that's so popular that's going to be coming around too.
Yeah, we do that every other year. So it was last year and next year. So, and anybody interested in working on that this fall, we will be starting to form our committee a year in advance to get that planned and get it going. I mean, we've kind of got the basics down, but we're always open to new ideas. And, you know, kind of fine-tuning it each year, each time we do it. So
And it's always such a wonderful evening. It really is. It's an awful lot of fun. You get sometimes some great baskets that are donated. People have like an auction for and so forth. So it's a really nice night. And of course, you were featured so heavily with the sesquicentennial, and that went over so well that I know that there are talks afoot to do something similar coming up next summer, and maybe try to make it an annual event. Maybe not quite at the scale of the sesquicentennial, but you know, but maybe it could be. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But that's something else we can kind of look forward to see how things progress with that, and see what the Huber gets involved with that. Because again, I think that the band that was here reconstructing the performance by the Hearts Boys Band was just outstanding. They were so good. It was, I mean, you can watch it on our YouTube channel if you missed it. But I mean, it was something that was just. You got to be happy when something like that, and proud when something like that comes here, because it's just perfectly suited for this venue.
well, and that the Hearts Band had played at this venue, so it was, you know, just the perfect match, you know, marriage of being able to do that for the sesquicentennial. And yes, there are talks about doing some kind of an annual festival, but yeah, the committee is meeting later in August to start thinking about it for next year. So, but the Huber definitely will want to be involved, and depending upon what kind of sponsors and funding that we can raise for that, then we can provide entertainment.
So with that, I always try to wrap up by just making sure, is there anything that we wanted to talk about or you wanted to talk about that we haven't touched on, Chris?
I'm just going to say one little thing here. The lobby and the community room have had a facelift. So please come see the show and see what we've done to the lobby.
Like I said, I saw the paint cans. Okay, so I'm not going to say anything more than that.
That's just a, put it out there.
All right.
Little tease.
So with that, we want to thank Chris once again for taking some time out and for being with us this afternoon to tell you about all the stuff that's going on at the Huber. It's always a pleasure. We'll look forward to being back in September. And as we leave you again, a reminder to come on by. If you don't already have your tickets, Saturday, doors open at 7, curtain at 7:30, 6:30 and 7. Doors open at 6:30, curtain at 7, and it's 1:30 and 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon for the matinee for Bye Bye Birdie with the Huber senior youth, the 13 to the 20-year-olds, doing the full-blown Broadway show, intermission, and the whole 9 yards. A great show to see, and it'll be an awful lot of fun. And again, just to thank everybody else for their continued support of the Huber Opera House and Community Center. And again, for more information on any of the things that we've talked about, and if there is anything we did miss, you'll find it there as well, huberoperahouse.org. You can follow them on Facebook as well. Thanks again to Chris. Thanks to you for joining us here on the HIX-TV YouTube channel. And with that, we will wrap it up for this month's live Huber Happenings program. I'm Bill Murphy, and take care, stay cool, stay safe too. We'll talk to you again real soon right here on HIX-TV.